Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, June 25th, 2021. It's time for morning devotions. We're going to pick up our reading this morning in Psalm 60, Psalm 60, reading out of the New American Standard Bible, 1977 edition. John, good afternoon, sir. Roxy is curled up, nice and tight. Wait for our friends to log in, say good morning. Then we'll get started. Hopefully we won't have any issues with buffering this morning, but I make no guarantees. Bonjour, mon ami. Good morning, Patrick. Roy from Davenport, hello. Big John, good morning, sir. I could just barely see the far edge of the tree.
But can you see everything that way?
Yeah, I could see from the tree. What do you need, your phone? Oh, go get your phone. Okay, we're going to go dark for a second. 1001, 1002, 1003. Out of love for my bride, she had to come into the camera view, and so she didn't want that. Good morning, Leanne. Good morning, Maria. Morning, Michelle. Roxy is right here. See her ear. There's her ear. Morning, Kathy. Morning, Kathleen. Yes, I am a Calvinist. I am part of the Frozen Chosen. Yes, Correct.
Somebody have notes?
No. Michelle asked, "Are you frozen?" No, when I go home to be with the Lord, have no plans of being frozen to be brought back at another time. Nope, 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 nope. So next Tuesday, not sure if we're gonna be able to get together next Tuesday because I have to have Roxy at the vet early that morning. She is going in for a dental cleaning, and they're gonna have to put her under, and it's gonna be a long day for her. So not sure yet how Tuesday is going to work out.
You can always do it later.
Yeah, I think Walt Disney got the deep freeze. Yeah, but no indication that he ever came to faith in Christ. So I don't think freezing is going to be the outcome for him. Sadly, tragically. You'll notice in Disneyland that there's one type of building glaringly missing from Main Street, USA, Main Street in Disneyland. And that would be a church. Wow, that's really expensive for cataract surgery. Maria's dog Toby needs to have cataract surgery.
Oh,
$2,500 to $4,000.
whew. Yeah, it's tough.
All right, so hey, I want to give you an update about yesterday. Okay, yeah, you comfortable? You comfortable? Didn't get a lot of work done on my sermon yesterday. Really, only a few hundred words penned. I got distracted with a project. I put out word on Facebook that I was looking to have a new stop and talk cross made. And a pastor from a small town in Illinois contacted me almost immediately and said, "Tony, I'd love to build this cross for you. I'm not a carpenter, but I've built crosses before, and I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever specifications you have." And so I sent all the particulars to him, and he said, "Oh yeah, I could do this." And he said, "Not only do I want to build your cross, but I want you to come down and preach in my pulpit on a Sunday morning, and maybe the day before on Saturday, take me and members of my church out to go crosswalking." So it's like a triple blessing. So I'm still waiting to hear back from my pastors to give the approval on me going down there to preach. My pastors approve all all of the preaching requests I receive from outside the church. And so once I have that, I will confirm that with the pastor, and that'll probably be July 18th. So things are sizing up to be pretty busy for me the next month or two. Next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend, 4th of July weekend, I'll be down at Christ Fellowship Bible Church in St. Louis. I'll be preaching on Sunday afternoon. Their church meets in the afternoon. They rent another church's facility. So I'll preach from Pastor Jeff's pulpit for, I think, the 20th time on Sunday afternoon, and then I will join the church family for their 4th of July fireworks show outreach down at the St. Louis Arch that evening. And then Monday morning, Pastor Jeff and I are going to record a series of videos, interview-type videos. We're going to talk about evangelism and other things. And then I will be home Monday afternoon, probably. Certainly before dinner, I hope. And then if this works out at the church in Illinois, then I will I'll be gone the weekend of the 18th. And then young pastor at another church, a rural, I always have trouble with that word. How do you say it, honey? Rural, right? Rural farm community church in Illinois, where I've preached a few times. Pastor's heading off for family vacation and has asked me to fill his pulpit on August 1st and August 8th. And then in between that, I will be traveling out to Southern California for a quick weekend to see family for some personal things. And that'll be like a Friday through Monday trip. So it's going to be a busy next, at least the next month, from the 4th of July through the 8th of August. I will be away from my church family on Sunday, 5 of those weekends. Is that possible? 4th, the 18th, the weekend in California, August 1st, August 8th. Yeah. Wow. So that's going to be a busy time. So yesterday, I didn't get a lot of sermon prep done, but I did go out to Harrison and Locust in the afternoon for 2.5 hours, and it was an absolutely extraordinary time of ministry. I offloaded onto my computer the audio from that, no video, but I had my digital recorder going, and so captured a few conversations that I had during that time. And depending on the sound quality, I hope to be posting those today, and so you will be able to listen to those conversations if you'd like, probably later on today. But I hadn't even assembled my cross yet. Had one of the free Bible signs set up, and a young man named Daniel pulled into the gas station parking lot, parked, walked over to me, and found out that relatively new to the area, from California, from the San Francisco area. I could tell just by his disheveled, dirty look that he had spent all day working hard somewhere. And he was looking for information, had seen me before and said, where's your church? I'm looking for a church. I need to go back to church. And, confessed an issue with cocaine. And I don't specifically remember how it came up. I was saying something to him about the gospel, and he interrupts me and says, but it's not by faith alone. I know it's not by faith alone, and I'm all, time out there, big guy, time out. So we had a wonderful conversation, and he got to hear the gospel, and understands now that salvation is indeed by faith alone, in Christ alone. And said he would come to church, so I'm hopeful about that. And then a lady named Diane came up. There's a small retaining wall there at Harrison and Locust. I was on the opposite side of the street from where we did the morning devotion and public reading a week or two ago. I was on the gas station side of the intersection, and there's a small retaining wall there. And Diane sat down on the wall, and she says, "I just gotta ask." I'm well, okay, ask away. She said, "Is God using Donald Trump?" So, okay. So I spent a little time explaining Romans 13 to her, and how God is, of course, sovereign over all governments, and will install governments to bless people, and will install governments to punish people, whether that be Trump or Biden or anyone else. And she started to weep, not because of my answer, but started to express a loneliness, because she's the only Christian in her family, and that's very difficult for her. And so I asked if I could sit down next to her on the wall, and sat down next to her and started to encourage her, or try to encourage her, and the conversation went very well. And at one point, she gently takes me by the hand, and she says, "I really just needed the touch of another Christian today." So while Diane and I are talking, a couple pulls into the parking lot, the gas station, pulls in right behind us. Man gets out of the car and says, "My wife and I are on our way to a doctor's appointment. We don't have a lot of time, but can we get a couple of Bibles from you?" So paused with Diane, grabbed a couple of Bibles for that couple, and the gentleman shook my hand and said, "We see you out here all the time. Thank you so much for being out here." And so I went back to Diane. As I'm continuing my conversation with Diane, a young girl about the age of my granddaughter Jashani, which would be about 12. Her name is Arancha. She sat down on the wall and was listening to my conversation with Diane. So Diane and I finished up. Diane gave me a big hug. And it was like boom, 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 one conversation after another. And I looked at Arancha. I said, "So how can I encourage you today?" And she says, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, do you have any particular spiritual beliefs?" I said, "Yeah, I believe in God. I'm a Christian." And I asked her, "Well, why would God allow you into heaven?" And she had no idea. So I started communicating the gospel to her aunt, because I'm wondering where did this 12-year-old girl come from? Her aunt, Grace, walked towards us. So obviously, they pulled into the parking lot somewhere. And her aunt sat down next to us. And then a short time later, Arancha's younger sister, McKenna, sat down on the wall. And so now I have these three ladies sitting on the wall with me, and I communicated the gospel to all of them. And as the conversation was drawing to a close and we all stood up, Arancha threw her arms around me and gave me a hug, and then McKenna gave me a hug, and then Grace gave me a hug, and they asked for Bibles. All three of them got Bibles. And so the two little girls started walking back to their car, and I could see there were other people in the car.